Welcome all you Galactic Patrollers out there, I'm Duuz-Diz-Din and I'm back with another Dragon Ball Super chapter review. This time it's chapter 43 titled Joining the Galactic Patrol. And we see that 10 million years ago, the Supreme Kai of Universe 7, fat as he may be, along with the only other Kai that we originally saw in the manga, the big burly one with a lot of energy, we're going up against an all-powerful wizard, raining down meteors upon them, with the Supreme Kai easily well, not so much easily, but managing to hurl it off of him. However, this mysterious being then does something that we have only seen Goku specifically do, as he draws energy from a nearby planet, brutally draining it of all life, whereas Goku tries his best in order to keep the drain to a minimum, as not to harm anyone in the process. This being gives not a damn for the populace below. And as he fully drains this planet of all its energy into a energy sphere that looks very much like a spirit bomb, he then consumes the power, very much like how we see Goku do it sometimes. Well, not by eating it, but more as he absorbs it into his being to gain even greater power. This being starts unleashing a wave of energy so mighty and powerful that the Kais have no chance against this creature. The Supreme Kai declares that he will be unable to defeat this person, as the Galactic Police, later to be known as the Galactic Patrol, watch on helplessly. The Supreme Kai declares that he will give up a portion of his god powers in exchange for sealing away this creature's magic. This is an ability that only he came up with, just in case he ever found himself going up against a being too powerful to be stopped. He then seals away this being's magic and power and puts them in the custody of the Galactic Police Force. This is a nice way of explaining as to why the Supreme Kai from that time was unable to take down Majin Buu. I mean, he's a god, he should be at least a little more powerful than that, but this offers a good explanation as to why he was unable to take down Majin Buu. And it also gives rise to the assumption that maybe Shin, because even in the animated flashback that we had seen, Shin seemed to be like very much kind of like Zamasu, kind of like an apprentice or assistant Kai and stuff like that. So maybe Shin's failures that a lot of people tend to point out aren't so much his doing, but just because, the original Supreme Kai was the power, and Shin not really being, ready to assume the mantle of Supreme Kai was taken off guard when all the other Supreme Kais in his position were all just kind of taken out by Majin Buu. I might want to do a video on that, just going further into depth as to the reason why Kai are universes, or Shin, our universe's Supreme Kai, wasn't able to keep up the mortal level, and how Majin Buu, the Supreme Kai's fight against this monstrous entity, and various other factors might have led Shin to not really be to blame for why Universe 7 has such a low mortal level. Feel free to say in the comments below if you'd like to see a video like that. But the Galactic Patrol actually carts away this creature. However, because he was still too powerful, this creature that we come to be, that is known as Moro, still had a high power level and battle ability, so he was unable to be executed by the Galactic Police and was imprisoned for all time. However, up until now, with his long lifespan, he has managed to regain his power and is now out there in the galaxy, ready to wreak havoc once again. Vegeta asks why they would need Majin Buu, and it's explained that Majin Buu had absorbed the Supreme Kai of that time, the one with the ability to seal away Moro's power. They look to extract this ability from Majin Buu. However, Vegeta notes that, they might not ever be able to get Majin Buu to cooperate with them, as when he sleeps, he doesn't truly wake up for a good long while, and he's been asleep ever since the beginning of the Tournament of Power, and he's actually also very volatile in his sleep, with no one being able to really do much of anything. Ooh, sorry about that. Very stuffy. But Goku suggests that they might be able to help out in the capture of Moro, which is quickly accepted because they know about the great power that Vegeta and Goku possess, especially since, word has gotten out with their defeat of Frieza. It's hard to keep news like that down when one of the greatest threats to the universe has been bested by these people. Vegeta gets on board mainly because of the fact that he's wondering about Mirius and how he was able to get up behind him so easily. There must be more to Mirius than meets the eye. Meanwhile, Goku's in on it just because of the fact that because of his encounter with Broly, he knows that there are strong people out there in the universe, and he's always ready to have a go and get stronger over time. So they end up meeting up with the Galactic King, like we had seen from the Universe 6 tournament. And Goku greets him on friendly terms, yet again grabbing his inappropriate scepter, yet again. And there's a brief inauguration as Goku and Vegeta are welcomed in to the Galactic Patrol. Which I think is very funny because, there's always these little things here in more recent Dragon Ball stuff with Goku and Vegeta joining some kind of police force. Here the Galactic Patrol, and in Heroes, the Time Patrol. So maybe this segues into them ultimately joining the Time Patrol to some capacity. However, they are less than interested in donning the Galactic Patrol garb, with Goku feeling it's a little too restrictive and just hard to move around in. But ultimately it's decided that even without the uniform, they will at least put the sigil of the Galactic Patrol on Goku and Vegeta using like a freaking highlighter or some shit. Very reminiscent to when Whis had put his mark on Goku and Vegeta during their training, which I wish they had kept their outfits from the Resurrection F arc. It was a nice design, and it helped differentiate Super from the rest of the Dragon Ball series. But I guess they didn't feel like it was worth keeping around. And whereas Jakku tries to continue to do a bunch of things that Goku and Vegeta are less than being involved with, there's a bit of an incident where the Macarini siblings, a group of bandits, are conducting a robbery. And so Marius goes out to try to stop them, but Vegeta demands to go along as well in order to keep an eye on Marius, to get some insight into what power he wields. This is a very Vegeta moment, a very Vegeta situation, where it's just like someone got the best of him and he wants to know why and how. Marius doesn't really show off great power, but it's great speed, which is a very curious situation. And as we arrive on planet Jung, we see the group of bandits taking down the local law enforcement and making off with this type of ore that is able to as Marius says, has the potential to destroy an entire planet, showing that this is real grade A threat right here. So Marius jumps in and has a showdown with the leader of the group of bandits, and this guy is called Pasta. And they have this bit of a standoff. It's very cool, very tense, and Pasta throws his gun after kind of imbuing it with a bit of like kinetic energy, I guess, very much kind of Gambit like from the X-Men, and it explodes, decoupling it from the one half of the train from the other half, allowing Pasta and his gang to switch the tracks, allowing them to get away from Marius. However, Marius manages to, halt the train from going off the side. Using his jet booster, we see how the Galactic Patrol is able to fly with these real Iron Man-esque rocket boots. And Marius has Jocko deal with the train and keep it in place, while Marius continues to go after the bandits. But Vegeta just loses sight of Marius all of a sudden after Jocko steps in, with him just being like, how did he get away without me noticing it? So there's something weird about Marius's movements, and as he goes in and stops the train, we see that the only people in the front of the train where the engine and stuff is are just the tied up conductors. We end up seeing that the bandits are making away with one of the bins full of the ore, and they're about to make their way out of orbit, but Goku has intercepted them, not letting them get away. However, Vegeta notices that Marius is holding some kind of device, and then upon closer inspection of the bandit's vehicle, he notices that somehow Marius had already managed to rip some device that would have allowed them to, escape from the planet's atmosphere. So they wouldn't have even been able to get far away from there on out. And he realizes that the only reason Marius hadn't gone after them was to save the workers. And Vegeta just gets a little pissy about the fact that he wasn't able to, follow Marius's movements whatsoever. It's very interesting. It's very interesting to see Vegeta just really being kind of so fed up with someone, because he's just like, I don't understand what you're doing it. Explain it to me now. And he does that. He just goes right up to Marius and is like, how the fuck? Well, we would have been able to solve this really quick, wouldn't you? You've been hiding your power all this time. But Marius simply states, it's just like, I just wanted to capture them along with their ship. I haven't really been hiding my power or anything, but Vegeta as having none of this. And he wants to know, it's just like, you could have done this all by yourself, couldn't you? But Marius says that, look, even if that were the case, Moro, who we're after, is on a whole different level, and that's why we need your help. I am not strong enough to take down such an opponent. He says Moro's power has no limits because he can absorb energy from other living beings. This is interrupted by another of the patrolmen saying that they've received a transmission from one of the scouting squads who have figured out Moro's positioning. And as they relay this to Goku and Vegeta, Jocko points out the direction which Moro would be in. And as Goku tries to sense Moro's key and, get a lock in on him, a read on his location, for one of the weirdest and most terrifying things that we've ever seen in Dragon Ball, Moro notices him. I don't think we've ever seen a moment like this that I can recall right off the cuff, where Moro has just noticed him and it's just like, hey, I see you watching me there. And this is freaky, because Goku wasn't ready for this. He didn't expect to be seen like this, just trying to detect Moro's energy. So Moro might be an incredibly powerful being. And I'm all too happy to see that, because with the likes of Jiren and Broly and creatures like that, it just keeps showing that there are more dangerous people out there in the universe that aren't just gods. And again, we haven't seen this because we've only ever been to just Namek. That's it, just Namek. We haven't really been across the whole entirety of the galaxy. So, the universe is a big place. That's why we've only just recently run into Broly. So to say, how have we never encountered these creatures before? When would we have had the opportunity to encounter anyone like this? So I'm glad they're doing something like this, and I'm glad Moro's thing is more magical energy, so it gives him a way around the physicality of Goku and Vegeta. But hey, tell me your thoughts in the comment section below. What do you think about Moro? Do you feel that he's this menacing creature who could really give Goku and Vegeta a run for his money, for their money? What about Marius? What kind of secret power is he holding within him? And how is he able to move without being detected by Goku or Vegeta? How was he able to get the drop on them so easily? And do you think that Vegeta's, questioning of Marius is founded, or is it just Vegeta being up in arms about the fact that he got taken from behind? And do you feel that the explanation where, the Supreme Kai from all those years ago was depowered, that's why he was defeated by Majin Buu, and, with him being taken out so easily, so quickly, Shin was left in a position that he was not prepared for. Again, if you would like to see me do a video on that, please say something in the comment section below. But until then, feel free to leave me a like on this video if you liked what I had to say here, or a dislike if you didn't like what I had to say. And hey, how about subscribing, because I'll definitely be bringing you more Dragon Ball Super episode reviews. Thanks for joining me.